Hello, welcome back to my corridors. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my corridors. I know this is a little overdue, but it's just because I just got back to work from my trip in Nashville, and obviously y'all may or may not have heard, but I ended up having to come back home with one of my hamsters dead. Hazel passed away a couple days ago. She passed away the same day as the front man as the front man of At the Gates, so I can kind of remember the date. That was just so devastating for me, and I am just so sad that she died. And I want to eventually make a video sharing funny stories with me and Hazel, because I miss her so much. Ivy's okay, she's happy and healthy. I'm just so devastated I lost Hazel, and it just feels weird not having her. So anyway, I am going to try and make this video. I'm really not trying to force myself, and I've been wanting to make this video because you can see my new Fulci shirt. I love the camo. This is the shirt for Tropical Sun. I don't know if you can see the back very well. I'm not good at angles. Anyway, I got a thing for camo, as y'all could figure it out. But anyway, y'all saw the Cannibal Corpse vlog, and I also ended up going to Biloxi to see Judas Priest and Alice Cooper, so I'm going to knock out two birds in one stone with this, so I'll try to make it as brief as possible and not be so slow. But anyway, so y'all saw the Cannibal Corpse vlog, y'all know what we did before the show, so if y'all are curious, go watch the vlog. It's pretty funny. But yeah, so Derek and I, we spent, that was our last day in Nashville, and we ended it with a bang by seeing Cannibal Corpse, Municipal Waste, Full of Hell, and Fulci. We hung out and talked to people, and even at the Alestorm show, we were like talking to people, of course, and it was so fun to watch. And everyone in Nashville was so friendly, and that was like the coolest thing about that city. The first band that played was Fulci. And my God, they were incredible. That is probably the heaviest and brutalest band I have ever seen in concert live. And they were phenomenal. They played clips of like old movies from Lucio Fulci. And I think that was like the best details I've ever seen out of all four of the bands. And I'm just surprised the other bands didn't do that. So anyway, and I want to show y'all something that they gave me. Let me get it. This is so awkward, and my back hurts. I'm coming. Anyway, here I am. So yeah, they played clips from Fulci movies, and they were named after Lucio Fulci, the gore movie director. And that was so cool. And I know this set list of songs, and I will even post a picture of it online into the YouTube community of the songs if you're curious, or I can just or you know what, I can just show it and y'all can pause the video. But anyway, they handed this to me after I interviewed them. But anyway, they handed it to me right after I got done interviewing them and getting the thumbnail photo. And those guys were so nice, and that's the very first band I've ever seen from Italy. So that's a first. So after the set, I talked to the guys, and after Full of Hell's set, we were able to go backstage and get the interview. And they had a very thick accent, so I could kind of figure out which band was which. The next band that played was Full of Hell. I think they're from Ocean City, but I could be wrong. They were okay. They're grindcore, and I liked them, but they weren't very exciting for me. But if y'all like Full of Hell, that's cool. I do recommend them. I can leave a link in the description for their music. So yeah, they were just okay. They just weren't my favorite, and I really shouldn't bash a band, but if y'all would like them, I'll recommend them. But they were an okay band to watch. Derek didn't like them for whatever reason. I think he just thought they were boring. I guess they definitely weren't as good as Fulci. And But you know, Fulci, I still can't get over how incredible they are. Like, that was probably the best opener band I've ever seen at a concert, period. Like, that was absolutely incredible. So yeah, and if y'all want to know what songs they played, it's on this little flyer here, and I'm gonna keep this. But yeah, Full of Hell was okay. And then after that, one of the members, Dom, he motioned me and Derek to come backstage to go for an interview. And I interviewed them, and it went well. And my interview for them is already on my channel. Go check it out if you hadn't seen it. But I'm sure most of y'all have. And that's one of my favorite interviews I've done with a band, and I am super proud of it. I'm so glad of how it came out. I really loved it. So, yeah, and those guys were so nice, and they were so cool. And it was cool we got to go backstage. But anyway, yeah, I got the thumbnail photo, and they handed me the flyer for their music at the Marathon Works in Nashville. So I got the list of songs, a physical media of their song, and like a souvenir for the concert besides the Fulci shirt. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked it. But anyway, after we got done interviewing them, we actually bumped into 2 members of Municipal Waste after that. And I said, hi, I'm a big fan. We were just backstage interviewing Fulci for my channel, and they're like, oh, right on. And Derek and I said, good luck. And one of them actually happened to be their singer. And I'm bad with faces, so at first I recognized him because of the costume. I hadn't really taken the time to, I've loved Municipal Waste since high school, but I'm so bad with faces. I have trouble memorizing people's faces to a degree. If people look so similar, it's hard for me to. So, yeah. But no, we bumped into the vocalist of Municipal Waste, and he thought it was, I think it was one of them we told that I was a YouTuber, and I was backstage just interviewing Fulci, and we weren't backstage for very long, and the reason why the questions were so brief in the interviews, because we wanted to go see Municipal Waste. Like, that was a band I was so eager to see. But yeah, Municipal Waste, the 2 guys that we met were awesome. One of them was their vocalist. But yeah, no, we just said hello to them for a brief second, and I thought that was cool. But anyway, we watched Municipal Waste. They're a thrash metal band I have loved since high school, and my god, they were incredible, and they were so fun to watch and headbang to. Derek went in the pit, and he stage dived. I didn't see him, because I was having too much fun headbanging, but I love the toxic waste cans that they had as a prop, and like the just the slime and everything. It was like that moment I was like, oh, they're literally municipal waste. They're toxic waste. So like, I don't know. My reaction time is so funny. So, but no, they played Slime and Punishment, You're Cut Off, mainly songs from The Art of Partying, and they did play The Art of Partying. So they played my favorite song, which is Sadistic Magician, and that pit was incredible, and the Fulci pit was a circle pit, and that was fun to watch. And then, yeah, no, I headbanged, and that was pretty fun. And I'm glad I got to see Municipal Waste after, wishing so long that I would, because they're a band I've loved, they're a band I loved since high school, and I'm so glad I got to see them. And I hadn't seen a thrash metal band in a long time. I mean, besides Eggs Hoarder, but they're more like groove metal. But they're from Virginia. But that reminded me of the Bay Area thrash memories that I had as a teenager, and that was so cool. And I love like a lot of thrash metal, and that like it reminded me of those days, in the San Francisco thrash area, even though they're not from San Francisco, but it just took me back to that comforting days of my teenage years. That was one good thing about California that I remember when I was living there. So yeah, that was cool. They played Sadistic Magician. I headbanged and sang along. Derek eventually came back to me. I'm staring at my room because it's a pigsty right now. Oh gosh, I packed the majority. I took out everything I packed. The majority of it is put up, but there's still some stuff on the floor, and I just can't stand to see it. I have to have my room clean. I'm so crazy. yeah, Derek got a municipal waste patch. He was probably having fun in the pit. He came back to me and he told me he stage dived, and security made him, like, he was trying to get to me, back to me, but security made him go the other way around. So that was kind of funny. But yeah. I drank a sugar-free Red Bull at the show. That's what y'all, if y'all are wondering what I was drinking, like in the picture of me and Derek, that was what I was drinking. So yeah. Anyway, Cannibal Corpse, obviously they played last. They were incredible. They played Scourge of Iron, I think. Fucked with a Knife. They played some other stuff. They played like a lot of their newer stuff too, from their newest album, which was okay. Yeah, Nobody Bash Chris Barnes. It was so satisfying to see Corpse Grinder headbang. Yeah, if I can like find a set list for the show, like online, I could probably like show y'all just in case y'all are wondering. I didn't do my nails. I just removed my nail polish yesterday. It was chipping so bad after being gone for so long. But yeah, obviously their encore was Hammer Smash Face. Seeing Corpse Grinder do that windmill, it was so satisfying. But yeah, when they played Hammer Smash Face, I started dancing like Jim Carrey, and Derek thought it was kind of funny. In the scene in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, when Jim Carrey's all like that scene, that's what I started doing, and I'm sure a lot of people would have done the same too. But I thought that was funny that I did that. But yeah, no, me and Derek were in arm in arm, and we were headbanging together, and that was just such a cool metalhead couple moment. But anyway, we said goodbye to the members of Fulci afterwards, and we told them, you know, this was our anniversary trip. We're in a long distance relationship, and you know, he said congratulations on your 4-year anniversary long distance. So yeah, we said goodbye, and I'm currently rocking the Fulci shirt, and I've had Fulci on repeat, as well as Glory Hammer too. It's kind of a weird combination, because, you know, I saw Glory Hammer, and I still love my Glory Hammer tour shirt. But yeah, so me and Derek said goodbye. I dropped him off at the airport, and there was just in between going from Nashville back to Mississippi, that's when I realized Hazel was dead, and she most likely died of natural causes. I don't think it was the car ride. She is a Russian hamster, and I found out that breed of hamster gets really sick easily. She was kind of obese, and I wonder if like her overeating killed her. So I don't know. But anyway, I'll make a video about Hazel eventually. So I was devastated. I don't want to explain the process of how I found out she was dead, because it's just too hurtful for me. Because I held her in my arms and I just broke down, and that was the worst. That's just the worst thing I've ever had to do. And she died the day that I saw Judas Priest, which I'll get to in a little bit. Yeah, I just loved Hazel, and you know, I'm just so sad that she couldn't come back to Mississippi alive. So yeah, so I headed down to Biloxi, and I went to the Coliseum, and it was a pretty packed show, but it didn't last very long. And honestly, I wanted to enjoy the show, and I did. It was just hard for me because the wound was still fresh from losing Hazel, and I'm just still thinking about that. But yeah, I went to the show, and I talked to like an older guy that was like a metalhead, and I thought that was cool. He sat next to me at the Coliseum. I'd never been to Biloxi, and it was really beautiful. It's like a beach city. One day I'll go back on my own, like as a day trip, to go swim, because I love going to the beach. But yeah, I thought that was cool. So so Corrosion of Conformity played first, and I missed most of their set because I was just still grieving Hazel's death. But it was okay, because I got to see them, and that was good enough. And I will post pictures eventually. They also, like, so the Ticketmaster ticket, I guess, like, was screwed up. So I went to the ticket booth and they gave me a better ticket, and they actually gave me a physical ticket stub, and this is a souvenir, and I think this is really cool. I'm glad they gave this to me. But yeah, but Corrosion and Conformity was good. I really didn't do much because I was just still sad. Alice Cooper played. Obviously he played most of his, like, you know, his famous songs. Feed My Frankenstein. There was somebody dressed up as Frankenstein's monster on stage. And you know, I'm 18, school's out. You know, just all the Alice Cooper songs we all know. But he was so fun to watch. Like, he came out of like a storybook, kind of, and that was so fun to watch. And his wife, like, I think that was his wife, dancing on stage with him, and she ended up putting his head under a guillotine. That was pretty funny to watch. They put him in a straitjacket, and yeah. I'm glad I got to see Alice Cooper. He was pretty cool to watch, and I ended up seeing them on the first stop of their tour. I didn't buy any merch from this show. I did buy some Cheez-Its from the vending machine, but that was it. I mean, that was okay. Yeah, no, and I saw Ryan Roxy in person for the first time, and Ryan Roxy used to watch my Instagram stories. He doesn't follow me. I guess he did that with all of his fans. So I saw him in person for the first time, like, that's the guy who stalked my Instagram stories. But you know, that was really cool. Nita Strauss also, I forgot Nita Strauss came back to Alice Cooper's band. She went with somebody else, but no, she came back to his band, and I thought that was really cool. Yeah. And then last was Judas Priest. I started to get really, I felt way better when Alice Cooper and Judas Priest came on. I still was sad, but I still watched the show. And Judas Priest, the first song they played was All Guns Blazing, and obviously they played Breaking the Law and You Got Another Thing Coming. And then there was eventually a part where Rob Halford ended up driving on a motorcycle, and I thought that was so cool. They played Nightcrawler, which is probably one of my favorite Judas Priest songs. Yeah, I thought it was so cool. I got to see Judas Priest. My love for Judas Priest started a decade ago with Screaming for Vengeance. So I got to see, like, one of the first metal bands I really got into. So that was cool. It was just a bad night, and you know, if I hadn't have dealt with Hazel's death the same day, then I probably would have enjoyed it more. But you know, I'm still enjoyed it, and I'm glad I got to see them at least once. Yeah, it was just bad timing, you know, me going to that show, because I still wanted to go. Like, I still wanted to try and be happy. But, you know, I couldn't force myself to be happy, but I still enjoyed Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. So if it seems like I'm being so brief about the show, it's just because the entire time I was just sad thinking about Hazel. And I'm just wondering and just hoping that she didn't die painfully. And I'm just hoping I was a good hamster mom, because a part of me just thinks, you know, I could have done better as an owner. And yeah. But anyway, I'll make a separate video about, you know, just some fun memories I had with Hazel, because I loved both my girls so much, and I'm just sad she didn't make it back alive. But yeah, but you know, I love Judas Priest and Alice Cooper. And yeah, no, my favorite part was seeing Rob Halford on a motorcycle. But yeah, anyway, that's it. I hope y'all enjoyed this. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, whatever. And I'll see you later, and stay metal.